SI North. We're back at Heartroot. I had someone ask me, I'm doing some videos on building some primitive body hold traps, snares, deadfalls. I had somebody ask me just how dependable are those traps? How certain can a person be that they're going to be able to get themselves the critters they need to keep themselves fed? Keep in mind, trapping is a very subjective activity. That animals can be sometimes very predictable. Other times they cannot be. I've set out sets on very well traveled game trails, and there's absolutely nothing I could figure out was wrong with the set. It never took an animal. They sit there and I check them every day, sometimes twice a day. I tried different methods back and forth and just couldn't get anything. And then I had other areas where I set a trap and pow, right away. I go out and set a trap in the morning, go out in the evening, and I've got something. So it's a very hit and miss situation. And many times, and I found with snares especially, many times I'll find them triggered, but no animal. So there's a lot of times you get a lot of fires on your sets, but you weren't successful. You didn't get anything. Now, something very light and easy you can carry with you, put in your pack, hardly know it's there. And it's almost 90% foolproof. Now, you're not going to get any large critters with it. The largest critter I ever even saw caught with it was a small raccoon, and it held him by the leg. He did not get killed in being trapped. He was just worked as a leg hold. But it is probably one of the most sure shot trapping methods you can use, that you can throw in your backpack and take with you every time you go out. And your odds are pretty good. If you've got squirrels in the area, chipmunks in the area, mink, smaller animals, you're pretty sure that you're going to be successful. And if they do get into the trap, you've got them. Here it is. A rat trap. These things are terrible. They are terribly deadly. I'm not going to set it. You don't know how many times I've smacked myself with one of these in the past. And you got to be careful with these. They will break a finger. You set this thing and it fires. It means business. You can take this trap, and if you're in an area with oak trees, gather up some acorns, grind them up into a paste. They make an awesome bait on these. You're going to get yourself some squirrels, I guarantee it. If you don't have oaks, you got pines. You can find a pine tree that's got a good batch of pine cones. Pine seeds. Take those pine seeds. If you've got anything that you can make a paste out of, mix those pine seeds with the paste and get it on this trap. Boom, you're going to have some pine squirrels. Another bait that works excellent is peanut butter. You're carrying peanut butter with you in your pack, put it on there. Anything sweet, anything pasty that you can put on here that a critter can come and trigger this, you got them. Okay, one thing that I want you to keep in mind, however, is don't ever set one of these, have it set out there, and not have it anchored to something. A larger animal, like the one that I had, it was an acquaintance of mine had gotten when he got the small raccoon. If he hadn't had that trap anchored, that raccoon would have ran off with it. He'd never find that trap, and that poor raccoon would have probably gotten an infection in his leg, and he probably would have died a miserable life, or a miserable death. So anchor these. One thing you can do, and I recommend it, is drill a hole through the corner on the trigger side, not on the snapping side, on the trigger side. Drill a hole over here in the corner. Put a piece of cordage through it. Tie that cordage up, or a piece of wire, and have yourself a good 4 or 5 feet of it. And then you can tie it to a sapling or to a branch. And if something gets in it, it can't run off with your trap. If you don't have that, you can always take a piece of bank line or other small cordage, and you can go through this hasp where your trigger lever is and tie it off there, and then anchor this to something. Okay? Now, where do you set these? Well, you can set them almost anywhere. They're really good set at a base of a tree. Squirrels like to come up and down trees. If you see an area where squirrels are hanging out, another good spot to put one, setting up on a branch. You got this thing baited. Those squirrels love to run back and forth on those branches. They'll come across this and they'll go right for it. Make sure to lash it to the branch. And the thing is if you got it up on a branch and it sets and something triggers it and gets in it, it'll fall off and it'll hang there from that branch. No other critter's going to get it before you show up to collect it. So that's a plus with putting this up on a branch. So there you go. There's an alternative, and as you can see, it's pretty small. I can't believe it, but I can actually carry this thing in my shirt pocket. If I load it up, I could probably carry 6 or 8 of them on me. And off I'd go. I'm out of trapping. So, I hope you enjoyed that. That's an alternative. I like the bushcrafting method just because I love to bushcraft. But I like to eat too. So, in a pinch, and I have to trap for dinner, I'd like to have a couple of these in my backpack and put a couple of these out along with my primitive sets. Now, if you got a couple of these, you can set them out your first day, and these things may get you dinner for that night while you're working on putting together snares and traps, bushcraft style. So this is a sure thing, and it's a quick, I say this is fast food compared to the gourmet food of building a good bushcraft body trap. So, there you have it. This is Sty North, and from Sty, Big Jim, and Rory. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Leave us any comments, and we love seeing you here. You all have a nice day.